You are now tuned in to Hot Topics with Donna. And on this show, we do one thing: keep it real hot. That's honest, open, and transparent. If you didn't know, now you know. So sit back and unwind as we bring the vibe and a little bit of glorious sunshine to your heart, soul, and mind. Your lovely host, Hot Donna, will be with you in just a few moments. But while you wait, go ahead and set an atmosphere of peace in your space. If you can, cut the lights down low, get your hydration on, vibration zone. Cause tonight, you're about to receive some delicious food for your soul. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's about to get You are indeed in the one and only place to be this evening. We appreciate you for joining us, and in just a few moments, we about to turn the heat all the way up. That's right. It's about to go down right now on Hot Topics with Donna. Show your virtual love by smashing that thumbs up and heart icon as many times as you can. And without further ado, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing your host, the one and only Hot Donna.
Hello. And happy pre-Thanksgiving. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Hot Topics with Donna. I am your host, Donna Taylor. And guys, listen, if you miss our first encounter, with each other, you're going to be in for a blast today. We're just going to catch up and then we're going to just roll right along. I'm so excited to have this beautiful soul gracing this platform again. And the word that I chose for her tonight is boldness. And I'm going to read what it says. It says, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God. For God give us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. That's 2 Timothy 1:6-7. And so, as I always say, sometimes we just have to walk bold. And sometimes people are not going to like it when we walk bold, but that's okay. But when we know who we are and know whose we are, we can walk in a boldness. We can walk in self-assurance. And it doesn't mean that we're cocky. It just means that we're confident. So I am going to get my guests on. Hey, Amy. Hey, Adrian. Amy. I'm telling you, girl, I am going to be going live for paparazzi maybe tomorrow, but the first week of December, I will no longer be selling jewelry, so you need to get with me. Okay, so I am going to bring my guest on, and we're going to get started, so just hold on. And she's already here. So after this first, I would no longer be a paparazzi consultant. I'm not saying that I want Dibble, but yeah, it's time for me to move on. Hey, Ken, that's my beautiful sister. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I am truly, truly good. I'm truly in a great headspace because this time last year wasn't in this space, but
Yeah.
I'm in a good space. You have to make new memories. So
New memories. Yes.
So yes, I'm in a good space. What about you? How are you? You look good.
Girl, please. I'm tired.
Well, we're
I don't
gonna
know
just
if I'm
catch
looking
up.
good. I'm tired. You see this? You see this? Going
I was
on
waiting for
3 weeks
you to be
straight of
out,
shows. Going on 3 weeks
girl.
straight of
But
shows,
listen.
child.
So we talked about them shows. We talked about it. So I want to know because I did see a video, and I think your husband was doing the video, and he had made a comment about, the practices. But then when he see his boo on that runway, girl.
I know. I know.
So
I know.
tell people who you are. You just like we're just gonna start. We might just have to do you an episode where we can just catch up because we had some great real talk last time.
We did. We did. We did. So for your listeners and your viewers, my name is Karina Beltre, and I am a rhythm lifestyle. Have a radio show, but that's been dormant since I was in surgery, and I'm just now healing, trying to come back
Yeah.
and be busy like I was before. And but right now I have been in a lot of self-discovery, like we were talking last time we got together. And honestly, I can tell you so much has happened since you and I have spoken.
Right.
My family has my family has grown, right? I have a new daughter that is living with us now, and
Wow.
I've lost I've lost
Hmm.
friends.
Yeah, I
So
saw that.
I can,
I saw that.
yeah, so, and of course I've been, busy and, doing the shows or what have you, but I know that you said that the word of the day is bold, and it's true. We have to try to walk
Hmm.
in our boldness. And I don't know if you know this amazing woman by the name of Keisha Kusar, and she talks about bold moves and living a bold life and living your authentic self. And she was a person who I sought out in 2018 when I cut all my hair.
Right, right,
Okay,
right,
I was going through a lot of things, and I used to have a lot of curly hair, and
right.
I felt like I had lost control of my life at the moment. And for some
Mhm.
reason, I felt like my head was heavy,
Yes.
and she helped me. She's bald, and she's amazing, and she's gorgeous. And for some reason, I met her, and I was like, I need to be like you. I want to cut my hair off. I want to go bald. And my husband's like, what? What do you mean? Wait a minute, wait. And like literally, like 3 days later, I was at the barber shop, and she
Wow.
introduced me to, in my opinion, one of the greatest barbers in Raleigh, Reggie Winston from a barbershop on New Bern Ave, and
Mhm.
I cut
Mhm.
all my hair, and I felt like the tremendous weight was taken off, I guess, my shoulders, just everything. I let it
Mhm.
all go, and I decided to walk in that boldness then, and
Well,
it's changed, and it's not the same. Um, so women, own who you are,
yes,
even in your flawed self.
yes, yes,
Own
yes.
who you are.
And do
Um,
you, and you can only speak for you, but do you think when you have a partner, and you're married, did your husband have a hard time with you walking in boldness because we've grown up, and I did another interview the other night with another girl that she's a widow too. And when you're talking about being submissive, how we only learn how to be submissive from our grandparents, and no one really taught us how to really be submissive. Submissive didn't mean that the man controlled us. And so now, if you're walking in boldness, did your spouse see you walking in boldness and saying, my wife is confident in who she is, yet she still respects me? Or did he have a hard time with you walking in boldness?
it's both. And let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you why. Um, Again, remember when we talked about being a Zumba instructor and all of that? That was back in
Yeah, yeah.
2014. That was when I decided to
Mm-hmm.
kind of do things for me. I didn't consider
Right,
that being bold, but
right,
it was the beginning of that bold walk, right?
right, right.
Um, at Coming from a person who was shelled who was, I'm still depressed. I still suffer from depression here and then, but in constant depression, I was afraid of being myself. And as I started coming out of my shell, he at first was uncomfortable, but then he saw how much happier I was because I was doing things for me, right?
Right.
Doing things for me. And then from being a student at a fitness studio to then being an instructor to then being an instructor myself, having my own studio, teaching 6 days a week, it was great, right? Now we move here, and yes, I taught here, in different places, but now we get to the modeling.
And that,
Totally different kind of bold.
Right. And remember, when you started doing this, for him, that was like,
still isn't.
I don't know. So
Still
has
isn't.
anything changed?
It has changed in the past couple months, and let me tell you why. Because he's been there. He has came to four straight shows. Before, he wasn't able to really come to the shows because he was always working. And all he saw was me disappearing to, rehearsals and then shows or photo shoots or whatever. So to him, I'm not home. So to him, I'm not home. And he's thinking that, not that I'm disrespecting him, not like that, but he feels that I'm neglecting the home in some way, and that I'm neglecting him as well.
Right. Okay. So with these experiences, how have he seen you? Because when I saw that video, to me, because it didn't show his face, it sounded like he was just so proud to see his wife on the runway,
Yeah.
So how was that?
He realized that all the work that I've been putting in these past few months leading up to these shows, to see the payoff of it, he gained an appreciation for the work that goes behind not just us as models, but obviously, the creators of these shows and how elaborate, and it's different. Some shows have been more elaborate than others. Some shows are sold out shows, some shows are not. And he'll now give the feedback of, wow, maybe if they would have done some more advertising, or wow, if they would, so now he sees where there could be improvements in shows. So and then of course him hearing, because obviously he's sitting there spectating, these people around him don't know that he's my husband, right? So they have no idea that he's, that I'm his wife. And then he hears the chatter of the people watching as I'm walking down the runway or what have you. So he has a sense of, of pride. I'm like, man, that's my wife right there. And they're talking about her and they're saying good things about my wife. So he was just so proud. And that brings me a sense of relief, because that sometimes we're at odds, because like I said, I'm sitting here trying to be bold, trying to do my thing, trying to follow passion, but yet still be a wife, still be a mom, still be a friend, still be a sister, because I feel like I put the needs of others more before my own. And I feel like when I'm doing, let's say, this, it's me, it's for me, it's my time. But he didn't see it that way. He saw it as me just being away from home, and me being away from him when I could be spending time with him. And sometimes I'm like, but you're working.
Right.
We're not really together. But he's thinking that I should be home.
Right. I always say, whatever role that we play, whether it's male or female, husband and wife, or significant others or whatever, I feel that the other party can take a step into their world, then you will have a better understanding of the joy that it brings us, because like him just going to 4, he may still have his, still be reserved, but he made an effort. He made an effort to go to 4. So therefore, he's saying, I want to be a part of your world. I may not go to all your shows, but I want to be a part of your world. And even for him, that's a bold step, because previously when we talked, it was like, no, why you got to do these shows? Why you always doing these shows? But at least he's listening, and at least he's showing that, you know what, this is my wife. And this is something that I see that brings her great joy. And who am I not to partake in that? Even if I got to sit for 3-4 hours, but who am I? Because you said, for better or worse, sickness and health, to death do us part. And so,
to good and bad.
Yes. And so everything else that's in between, you said, okay, well, you know what? Today I'm tired, but I am going to go and see my wife grace this runway. Because even though I'm tired, I'm going to go do that, because that means you're sacrificing something for the both of you. Because in the end, it's a win-win.
It is. It is. Because I am sacrificing something. I'm sacrificing time with him. And so is he.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we could be with each other doing something.
But he chose those 4 times to say, let me see her. Let me see just what she's doing. And sometimes, being in this world, people always have the concept that it's always hidden agenda when we model.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When we're in the back and we're changing, and we just may have on bra and panties, or we may just have on panties and we're running around with our hands over our breast, but it's no hidden agenda. We're just trying to get in the next goal. But when our spouses or significant others don't understand that, then when they come, like your husband, they see the work. Like, dude, you think we're just trying to get here to get these garments? Just think all of the behind the scenes stuff that these producers and whoever putting these shows on, do you really think that they are having a good time? Because the same thing that we're talking about with me modeling, they may have a spouse and say, well, why do you need to put on this show? What's the purpose of this show?
Yep. And every show, there was a purpose. Every show had a purpose. Everything had a reason. So he saw everybody's, reason to have their show. And then, of course, to see all of us partake in it. And he has seen some of the chaos that goes behind the scenes in the shows, especially when we have to, if I'm a back-to-back with a designer, it's, you don't have a lot of time to, change and stuff. So you're literally like just taking it all off and, and changing the jewelry or whatever. So it's not, when we are on that runway, you think it's glamorous, but it's not so glamorous back there.
No, especially when you have designers that they know exactly what they want. And when you're coming off from one designer and you may be just coming off the runway and you are literally stripping this first designer and you're standing there, hey, hopefully you have bra and panties on, but you're trying to get this next garment on. And so because remember you and I talked, have you learned to say no? Have you learned to say no?
No. so it's so funny because let's be honest. No, because
thank you guys.
I feel like
hot topics.
Hi, Cleve. I was asked to do another show the other day to host, and I was telling my girl, I'm like, wait, in a month? I'm like, you're trying to pull this show in a month? And she asked for some help, and I said no. I said no, but no and yes. No now, but yes later. But for
Right.
later. I'm like, you're not giving yourself enough time to plan, and it's gonna be crazy. I'm like, and if you want my help, I can't pull. I was like, listen, I'm busy. I ain't got time to help you with this show. So it was kind of like yes and a no and a yes to say no. But I feel like so many people help me. They help
Mm-hmm.
me, and I will say they help me more emotionally than
Right.
anything else. And and how can I say no to people that help?
But if you I don't know what happened. Hopefully she can come back on. We were talking about just the world of modeling and how sometimes when we're doing things, we may say no, we may say yes, but what is the cost of us saying yes or no at our honest? Um,
My aunt decided to call me from New York, and it ruined the whole connection. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have to call her back.
but this is the thing. When you say no, you have to say no from a place of not feeling guilty.
I'm not there yet.
And I know that, and just like is it Deandra? She said there has to be a balance, but you have to learn to say no and don't feel guilty about saying no to you whatever the case may be. It can be with your friends, it can be with anyone, but you have to learn to say no and not
Mhm.
make you feel guilty, because you remember we
Guilty,
talked about this.
girl.
Because when you say yes, it comes from a place of dishonesty.
Not for me. I want to do it. I
You
do.
want
Like I come from a place of and I will literally move everything, shift everything else around to make. Because to me, all we have is our word now.
right,
You know,
right,
all we
right.
have is our word.
Yes.
So when I say yes to someone, it's very rare when I say no. So I'm very bad at saying no. So, but
Well,
when I say yes to to people,
mhm,
I will shift everything and I will make it work.
yes. And because
To
that's who
help
you
to
are,
help people.
but there's going to come a time when you can't always do it. And Cleveland
Yes.
said no is very healthy. And there's going to come a time
Yeah.
where because of the nature of who you are,
Mhm.
and you don't have to apologize for being that person. But
Yep.
at the same time, it is okay to say no, because when we continue to say
Yep.
yes, I can, then others will start to say, oh, I can ask Donna or I can ask Karina, because they know that our yes is yes. But
Mhm.
when we say no, will they still love us the
That's
same?
true.
Will they
That's
still
true.
respect us the same because we said no?
That's true.
That's the question. I am good. I will help you. I will do whatever I can. But if today is not the day that my yes turn into a no,
Mhm.
will you still love me? Will you still respect me
Mhm. I
if
think
I
for the
say
most part, the people that know
yes?
me. If I say no, they know that I can't do it.
Right. But
They
you
know.
beat yourself up because of who you are.
I
Because
do.
you feel like you have let them down,
Mhm.
and you want to, because
Mhm.
that's just who you are, and that's just how God
Mhm.
designed you. But
Yeah.
sometimes we have, like Cleveland said, we have to find a balance, and we have to know that if I'm saying no, it's not because I
I
don't
love
want
you
to.
less. Yeah, or not
It
want to
just
help.
means that I'm just not in the headspace right now for whatever reason.
And it's so funny that you say that, because obviously at the time when my husband didn't understand why I did all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now that he's been to the shows and he's come to the realization that I love this and he appreciates it, he's proud. We actually had a conversation today about it, and he was just like, babe, listen, it's okay to slow down. It's okay. He was like, it's okay. He goes, people are going to love you regardless. He was like, you don't have to post. The algorithm will be fine.
Yeah. You're right. But if he asked you to give up modeling, what how would that affect you?
Tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're taking away my joy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
joy changes. Joy can be one thing today and something else tomorrow. So
Absolutely.
at this time, I'm literally feeling like you're taking my joy.
It was like, no.
See? I love you, Cleveland. I
I
love you
love
so
him
much.
too. But I
Yeah,
mean, but that would be a struggle, right?
a big struggle. And trust me, the
But
conversation has been had many times. Because again, by him not understanding, by him not seeing, by him not really, again, seeing and understanding why I love this so much, it, trust me, the clashes were there. But again, I'm like, but you're not there. And sometimes he didn't understand why we love each other so much, us as models, because most of the time our family members don't come to these events. They really don't. So,
well,
all we have is each other to support each other and to
exactly.
uplift one another and to be like, yes, honey, you look great. And, baby, oh, Cleveland, oh, honey, you look bomb. So we have,
Yeah.
we have that family that we build in this, in this particular arena where we encourage each other, because we don't have our spouses, we don't have our family members out there seeing us. So then we develop this love for one another and this need for each other, because at the end of the day, I'm walking, but there's no one there for me, out there for me. So then I have you, I have Cleveland, or
Yes.
or you see what I'm saying? So you're my people.
Exactly. It becomes a sisterhood and brotherhood because we don't have those. And I was, talking to my other guests, and I was saying, for me, because I am a widow now, but my
Yeah.
late husband, he supported me, even though he didn't really understand. And I think he was probably just like your husband. He didn't really
Hmm.
understand. And some shows he came to, some shows he didn't. But for me, I, at this stage in my life, I want to have a partner that can walk with me boldly. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Walk with me boldly, even if he's not in the spotlight, even if no one knows he's there. But I know that when I walk out on this runway, or when I go here and speak, or when I do whatever it is that I'm doing, I want to have a partner that knows his place with me.
Hmm.
Or it could be vice versa.
Ex-
Or I know my place
exactly.
with him. And even if nobody ever knows that he is sitting back, because he knows that, hey, that's my girl.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, I
Yeah.
got her. And people don't need to know who I am. All they need to know is that she has someone that has her back, or
Yeah.
vice versa. And when
Right.
you don't have that, we build these friendships, we build these brotherhoods and sisterhoods. Because
Yes.
when you're in this field, there's very few that are the real deal.
Mm.
Few who are the
Say that
real deal.
again.
And I can say Cleveland is the real deal.
My brother, yes, he is the real deal. Yes, he
And
is.
he is like my brother too. And and when him and I did that photo shoot, that was my very first one with a male model. But
Mm-hmm.
because level of professionalism,
Yep.
just being who he is down to earth,
Yep.
making you be like, girl, you got this.
Yep.
Even when you let that insecurity inside, you be like, can I really pull this off? But
Yes.
when you meet people like that can pull something out of you,
Yes.
you appreciate that, and there's no hidden agenda.
None.
None.
Because we make each other better.
Right, whether I'm half naked or fully clothed, you are seeing the best in me when I don't feel like I have the best in me. You see what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Girl, you know. I'm right there.
So,
And I feel that chemistry
yeah,
within models is vital. Because then
yeah,
the pictures come back bomb. I'm sorry. So when you know, let's be like Denise, let's be like Medea. When there's chemistry between, even if it's two females, when there's chemistry on that behind that lens, that
yeah,
the pictures don't lie. They don't lie. And of course you put on it. It looks very real. So technically you sold the shot.
well, you seen the pictures with Cleveland now, right?
Hmm.
So I'm gonna tell you, my children, they grow. First they called me and they was like, Donna Taylor, have you really lost your mind?
Because people
And
gonna think, oh, you date him, you messing with him. Oh my God, yes.
so Cleveland, I had to call Cleveland because I'm like, dude, this is my first time meeting him. And so my kids are just acting crazy, right? They
Uh,
had a long thread on the picture, and everybody that commented on, they pretty much gave them a piece of their mind, and they was like, so you got his private parts. I mean, they was just doing all of this. But I'm gonna tell you something, sis. I decided to take that picture with just the bodysuit at the last minute. I had
really.
no intentions on that because the level of confidence that Cleveland gave me,
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna step out this box. You know what? Hey, who don't like it? I can't control that. But because
No.
Cleveland is such a professional, and he was like, you got this, you got this, and I was able to do this, and that's what I'm saying. You have to have people in your life that understand because they think this is because they don't realize when you go to photo shoot, it is like an 8-hour job
Child. I
because
brought my husband to one of them because he didn't understand why it took so long for a photo shoot. And Cleveland, well, I'm gonna bring Cleveland back up in this one. So check it. It was in the summer. It was in the end of June, hot. Okay, we were at an auto body shop taking pictures, and my husband, I said, you know what? You're gonna be part of this shoot. You're going to be part of this shoot so that you can understand. Because he didn't understand why it took so long. How come I didn't answer his calls? Because, I mean, it's not like you got your phone near you, right?
no,
So,
no, no.
so he became part of the shoot. He took pictures with us. But let me tell you the corny part. So I had this leopard bathing suit, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Tell me why Cleveland's ass had a leopard jacket, okay?
But see,
So, I, so
but this is the thing. Cleveland is always on point. It's almost like he had ESP. Charlie, yeah, it was a
yeah,
great shoot. I got
so
me out my box. Cleveland, it was how you felt. But
I
Cleveland,
was like, where's the jacket? And then my husband, and then we come out, and we were like, because we were surprised, because, people would think we made this shit up, and we didn't. We just had it in our bags. So, of course, my husband's like, what, y'all coordinate? I said, no. And I'm like, no, we didn't. I'm like, he had a leopard jacket. So, of course, we're like taking selfies, and doing all this stuff. And he's like, I can't with y'all. I'm like, what? Let it go.
but I'm telling
Okay?
you, but Cleveland, I'm telling you, this man is equipped for fashion shows, photo
Yep.
shoots. Because I'm telling you, me and him kind of had a general idea of what we wanted, you know, but we talked about a couple of styles, but I'm telling you, every outfit that we had coordinated with each other. And one lady, she was like, y'all getting married? No.
No, that's what you got when you're dealing with a professional.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's out. His game is on, because I was like, wow. But because I've never, since I started modeling since 2012, Cleveland is the first male model that I have ever did a photo shoot with. And I so enjoyed it because
Love me some Cleveland.
he made me feel confident, you know,
Yes.
even when I didn't feel like my body was like doing what I needed to do, but yet
Right.
his level of confidence. And it was almost like, we're doing this photo shoot, but you're teaching me strategies and how to get the best photos that I need. And you don't
Chemistry.
have you don't even have females that you work with that will give you tips and say, hey sis, try this or try this, because it's a catty world, because you don't want me to outshine you, because you think
Outshine you, whatever.
But you know, and so when we're in this field, and I see you and I look at your pictures, and that's why, not only with your modeling, but even in your health, even in your surgeries, you're still coming out bold.
Trying.
You're still coming out bold. You're going to the gym, and I'm like, honey,
Yep.
child, she done had surgery, and she going to the gym, and I'm just
I
still
am.
sitting here, you know, eating late at night, and here she is that had surgery, and she's still going to the gym. And that's why I chose boldness for you, because you are evolving into Karina.
I am, and I still don't know what that is.
But you're on your way. You're
Yes.
on your way, because you know why? Because you're learning to love you unapologetic. And
Yes.
sometimes when we decide that we want to do that in our lives, and when we decide that we want to be bold, we may just ruffle a couple of feathers.
Child.
We do, because, you know, I tell people I am confident, not cocky. Because see, I done been on the other side. I done been on the other side when I didn't know who I was, didn't have self-esteem about myself, didn't love me because I wanted to love someone else better than me. But in the end result, I still got screwed. You see what I'm saying? And so
Girl.
when you take a stand and say, what you see is what you get.
You get. Yep.
If you
Take me or leave me.
hey, you can
Flaws and all.
Right.
Floss
You
them.
have the one
So what I
pick.
put them.
Yeah. And that's where you are now. You are saying, shortcomings and all, I'm being bold. And
Take me as I am.
Right. And we as women, and you know, we always talk about this, women got to learn to be okay to have a voice, because you can't allow people to silence your voice, whether it's your husband, your significant others, your friends, your family, because when you allow people to silence who you are, that's saying, I don't matter anymore.
And I know what it's like to feel like you don't matter. One of the things that I value is that I want you to feel that you matter to me, which is probably why it's hard for me to say no. I want you to feel that you matter to me. But one thing that I have learned recently, and I've made someone feel like they mattered. I have the text messaging to prove it.
Right.
And I didn't see this person for a long time, finally saw them, and I regurgitated everything that was happening to me, because I've been trying to make time for you. There's certain conversations that cannot be had over the phone. Let's have these conversations face to face, right?
Right.
Finally, I saw this person regurgitated everything, and they only got one thing from what I said. One thing.
One thing.
And I'm not even going to say what I said because, again, it's not purview for everybody. But
Right.
now our friendship has ended because they think that they didn't matter to me. And that is so far, so far, so far from the truth.
Right. But do you think people only hear what they want to hear?
They want to hear.
They only hear what they want to hear. They don't, because they can't see beyond what's before them. You see what
Yep.
I'm saying? And so when you deal with people like that, sometimes it's not that we don't want to deal with them, but sometimes God would start, like we said before, the shaking of the tree.
But this person I thought was my forever friend, Donna.
Yeah, yeah, we get those. We get those. And remember, a tree have all these flowers,
I know.
and then he shakes them, they fall.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that stay are the ones that you continue to cultivate. And
I
then when
know.
the shaking comes again, he does the same thing. But sometimes, even in the hurt, even in the pain, we have to realize that some people are not meant to go with us on the journey where we're trying to go and where he's
I
trying to
guess
go.
not. I guess not. And I know that, but I
Yeah.
really thought this person was a forever friend. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's
But you
sad
know what?
because for them to feel that they were not important to me is so far from the truth. And
But
I
this is
know that
you.
people have
This is
lives, people have jobs, people got things to do, just as you do, so do I, you know? And
mhm.
and this is where I made many attempts,
But
and
it's not you.
and that's
It's not
okay.
you.
But yet, like my friend Sue, the one that passed away,
Yes.
that person was on my mind that entire week, and I was in a very dark
Mhm.
headspace that week, right? That
Mhm.
particular week, she was on my mind every day, and I was
Mhm.
such in a hard space that I didn't get a chance to call her. I called my mother instead because I didn't even
Mm.
have time to be on the phone. So I made a choice. I'm like, do I call Sue or do I call my mom? And because my mom knew what was going on, I
Mhm.
went straight to the source. Because with Sue, I would have to do a lot of catching up to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we hadn't talked since May.
Mhm.
Now, granted, she would have still received me as if time didn't pass,
Yes. Yes.
right? As if time
Right.
didn't pass. And I didn't make that call. I didn't send that text. And my friend died that Sunday morning. And I felt like I felt it because I woke up with her on my mind
Mhm.
heavy
Mhm.
that Sunday morning. And then
Mhm.
Monday morning, I got the message that my beloved Sue passed. And that broke me because at the end of the day, look, I'm sitting here making time, sending texts, calling one who
Yeah.
obviously didn't think
That you could.
that she didn't matter to me, but yet
Mhm.
I avoided the other who would have
And she
never
did.
minded
And
that I
gone.
didn't call her for all those few months, and I
Mhm.
lost her. So now I have this like all these words stuck on my chest that I will never tell her. I know I can write it, I know I can say it, I know she's
Mhm.
up there listening, but it's
Mhm.
not the same as me and you having this conversation right now,
And
and it
at some
hurt.
point you're gonna have to forgive yourself,
I
because
haven't.
but I'm saying, because you already know who she was, because
Hmm.
I have a friend like that. We can go months without talking. And when we talk, we can catch up like we ain't never skipped a beat. And so
Exactly.
that should bring you comfort knowing
Yes,
who she was, because you know what? She already probably knew that you had so much on your plate,
she knew.
and she's not even for once saying, wow, I wonder why she don't call me, because she know I'm going through this or whatever. Because you know why? Because she wanted you to remember the conversations that you
Yes.
had prior to her death. And so at some point, it's going to be okay for you to say, I love you, girl. I had your back, and you know I had your back. And she knew you had her back.
She
But
knows.
some we spend so much wasted time,
Yes.
so much wasted time on people that know good and damn well that we love them, that we're there for them, but they make us work. They make us work to prove that if I called you every day, that's still not going to prove to you that I love you. And it's still not going to be enough, because when I do that, you're going to require something else of me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm telling you, you're not the issue. She is. Because it's something in her that's making her feel that way about
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
so
And I'm
the
sad about
question that
that.
you need to ask yourself is, do she even really like me? Do she even really consider herself my friend? Because of the person that you are, you know, people know when you're there for them. People know.
Yeah,
They
they know.
know.
They
And
know.
she knows that you love her, but this is a hard truth. Do she really like
Mm.
you? Is
I
she
don't, and
jealous?
that's
Is she jealous of something that you have?
what I ain't got nothing. Just a
But this is
husband,
the
some
thing.
kids.
But this
Hmm.
is the thing. You can say that, but you know for yourself, and I'm gonna bring it back to the modeling. People
Hmm.
don't like models when they feel like they're a threat, and they don't even take the time to get to know them. All they see is what's on here, and they never
Hmm.
say, well, are they broken? Are they having, what kind of headspace are they in today?
Because most of us are broken in a bad headspace, and they don't even know.
Right, but they look at us because, hey, she's doing her thing. Just like with you. When people have underlying issues, they always make it about the person. They never make it about them, because then when it's
Hmm.
about them, then they have to face their truth.
Child.
And sometimes we don't want to face our truth. So that's why you can't allow this. All you can do is pray, keep it moving, and whenever she comes to her senses and say, dang, I wasted all this time saying she doesn't care, but how have I been to her? How have I been to her? Have I been a friend to her? Have I shown her that I care about her?
Hmm.
Oh,
Like I
thank you
said,
so much.
I got the
Thank
text
you.
trail, and
My,
it's really weird. Um, it's really weird. Like I said, without getting into the weeds. I had the surgeries. Did she
yeah.
call to see if I was okay? No. Did she text? No. Meanwhile, you got strangers sending me cards, sending me cookies. The
So
people that you least expect
I'm
checking
asking
on me, loving
you,
on me.
keeping it raw, honest, open, and transparent.
And, but in the end, I still didn't take it personal because I'm thinking she's working, she's busting her butt, she's doing her thing. But again, it all came down to you
You see
don't
my
matter to me. I guess I don't matter to you. And that hurt me to
you see
say
my
that because I don't
you don't
I don't
listen. You
want
don't,
people to think that they don't matter.
but I'm telling you, you gotta stop. Because when
Mm,
people, and this is what I find, and this is the hard truth,
mm,
people make time for what the hell they want to make time for. We cannot continue to make excuses for why they don't do this, why they don't do that. If it's important to them, they will make time for it.
yep.
If it's not of the importance to them,
Hmm.
they're not gonna really give a shit. And that's
Nope.
just the honest truth. And so
Facts.
if
Facts.
he cared anything about you, if she just texts and say, hey sis, I know you had surgery. I'm not trying to bother you, but hey, just know I'm here. Do you need anything? I can just drop it off at the house. You see what I'm saying? Because when people matter, people do whatever. People would do whatever. The people that matter to you, you show them that you matter. Even if you don't have no conversation, and I'm telling you, stop making excuses for her, because she could easily say, hey, I ain't trying to bother you, but just know I'm here if you need me. If you need anything, just let me know. Type it. I can put it at your door. I don't even have to come in, because I know you may not feel good. But like I said, we make time for what we want, and we
That's
know
right.
we do. We do.
That's right.
And
That's right.
so at the end of the day, it's their loss, because you know what? Because then when God starts sending people and building people that's supposed to be attached to us and assigned to us, and
Hmm.
then when you look around and you be like, oh, well, where did they come from? Our Father was building them, because
Right.
they knew we needed people that can carry us. We needed people that can push us, support us.
Yes.
And just like they always say, another man's trash is another man's
It's
treasure.
treasure. Yeah.
That goes for friendships too.
Amen to that.
That goes for friendships too. And
Yes.
so that's the thing. You don't have to just say, hey, I love you. I can pray for you. But you're not going to take up another ounce of space in my head.
Hmm. That's so hard to do. But yes,
I and,
you're
and you know,
correct.
and that's why I love you, because you don't mind me giving you those hard truths.
Oh no.
And that's one thing I love about my friendships, because I don't mind them giving me those hard truths, because when you
Hmm.
can give people hard truth and they still love you, you have something
Yeah.
jewel. Because I don't want people to be like, oh yeah, girl, you got it together. You no. Mm-mm. When I mess up, I want you to call me out, tell me I messed up. But you know what? In my messing up, you don't judge me. You love me. If I need to cry, you're there. If I just need to sit there, you're there. Those are the type of people that you want to be connected.
That's right.
Because everybody is going through something in this day and age. And like we always say, you're still working on some stuff with your mom, you know,
Yep.
and
Yep.
has that even progressed from our last
It
conversation?
has because, like I said, you know, it has because, like I said before, in my moment of darkness,
Hmm.
the last person I thought I talked to was my mama.
I know, right? I know, I
Okay?
know. Yes,
So,
yes.
so when I finally regurgitated everything that was happening to me, that's how I know God was in it because I'm thinking she gonna stop me 6 feet under when I
Yeah.
told her. But when that woman came with so much grace and so
Wow.
much love, Miss Donna, I was like, where is this woman? This is the woman, this is the mother that I needed all of my life. But apparently I didn't need her then. I guess I needed this moment at this particular time at this, this right here is where it mattered. And I got to see her differently.
Mhm.
I mean, granted, she went back to her old ways, but in the end, I just see her different. Our bond is different.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, she's still annoying, she's still a pain, whatever. But
Did
now
your
that we have like this bond, it's
Mhm.
different now. It's so, it's so different. And you can't even explain it or put it into words,
I love it.
what it is. Like I said, she drives me nuts. She has, she's still the same old, but
Right.
at that particular moment, I saw someone else,
But
the
did
true
that
her.
right. So did that true person make your forgiveness, because you remember you said you were still working on that
Yeah,
forgiveness. So then did that kind of change your perspective
it
of
did.
your level of forgiveness for her?
It, totally, totally.
Wow.
Because now, totally because, and like I said, it's I don't know. It's just forgiving her makes it easier to forgive everybody else because her baggage is so much heavier. You know, the baggage that I've been holding, carrying, grudges, whatever, is so much heavier than, let's say, the friend. You know, the friend. It, like I said, it hurts that we are no longer friends, that we are now gonna go our separate ways. It's sad, but it doesn't hurt because it is what it is, as opposed to, and it's forgiven. I mean, even though I still don't think it's fair the way it went down, but it's forgiven. I'm not, I still think about it sometimes, but I don't have that, like that hurt, that anger that I had at the beginning when, I'm like, what do you mean? I don't matter to you. Like, you don't matter to me. What? I'm like, that's so far from the truth. Now I'm just like, I did what I did, and everything I do, like I said, even when I fuck up, I do everything out of love, Donna.
Right. But you know what? Even in those, we are living testimonies that we can soar. We can soar. And that's why I wanted us to have this second part, because we got so deep. And and I'm telling you, girl, I was waiting for you to be sitting outside.
No, it's too cold outside. That's what I said. I was like, last time I was outside, I was like, I didn't even know where to sit. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit in my room.
I was waiting outside for you to like be out there just chilling, and I was like, okay, well, she gonna be outside, having her day, whatever, and I was just like,
before we go, obedience. Remember, we were talking about obedience last time, right? Child.
So, have you been?
No.
Okay. So
let's be transparent.
Go ahead. Honest, open, and transparent. That's what this platform is.
No. When I tell you the flesh is a powerful thing, ma'am.
You don't have to tell me. Yes.
Child. I would listen. There was 1 week where I stayed in prayer. Prayer. Come Friday. Temptation. I'm like, dude, you don't even take a break. I'm like, I'm thinking, and I'm talking about the devil and stuff. I'm like, you don't take a break. Here I am having a good week. I'm feel like I'm spiritually in tune. I'm feeling better.
Right.
Come Friday, 5 o'clock. I'm like, can you give me a break, please? And I can be, I know people say I'm strong, but I don't see the strength you see. I don't see what you see. I'm over here flawed, messed up, in my thoughts everywhere sometimes, and I'm just like, and people are like, you got it together. No, I don't.
No. But you know what? Isn't it the beauty when you can be honest, open, and transparent with yourself and say, I don't have it all together? Because I'm going to tell you, and my late husband was good for that, because even people, they'd be like, yeah, he used to say, oh, my wife is so strong, she's so this. And I'm thinking, well, I'm glad he got this much confidence in me, because sometimes on the way to work, sometimes I would have my meltdowns because I needed to be strong for him, especially, in his sickness, and because I knew he was dependent on me because of I was so strong. But in my head, I'm thinking, dude, do you know I can have a nervous breakdown at any given time?
At any given time.
Because you think I'm so strong because I'm still trying to work. I'm still trying to, raise a daughter. I'm still trying to be the best friend I can be. And still taking care of someone that I know is dying, and I see it right before my eyes, and you telling me and you telling people that I'm strong, and this what you think that you're finna get out of me, and you have no idea when I tell you goodbye in the morning and you taking the kids to school, and I'm riding to work and I'm crying, tears are flowing, and when I pull up at my job, I got to pull myself together and say, I got to go about my day because these little kids, they need me.
Child.
But
People don't know what happens behind closed doors, or in our vehicles. Look, child.
and
They
when
don't
you
get it.
so let me ask you this. When you find yourself not being obedient to what he's told you to do.
Here we go. I got the answer right here. Go ahead, ask it. Ask it. Go ahead.
When you find yourself not being obedient, because you remember you said you used to you write and or whatever. So how do you handle when you're not obedient? What is that process like now?
I write.
So when you write, are you writing from the heart, trying to because like I said, obedience is that's a powerful thing. And like you said, our flesh sometimes just takes over, and sometimes you know what we do? We be like, here you go, you can have it because I don't want to be obedient today. I just want to do what I want to do.
Yep. I write.
But let me ask you this. So you're writing. Have you ever went back when you've been in a state of being obedient? You know, when you